And I'm coming in a little, just a tad bit early so that I can check things and make sure this medium, this instrument of the medium is working. Well, I almost had it. We have had some breakthroughs around here and good stuff happening. That's definitely a plus. And I'm going to tell you about it. So there's been a lot on my mind. How exactly to express it? I'm not sure yet, but let's find out. And I have questions. I think that you are smart enough. Yeah, yeah. Y'all are smart enough to, or knowledgeable enough, or both, to help me with this. So it's, I feel important to get enough opinions on these things. If you read the title, we're being told there are some channels that tell us that the biggest of the parasites are gone, that the lead parasites are gone, completely gone from our world and from our solar system. Does that mean that they're gone forever? I'm not sure. Supposed to be. Well, that's sort of what I mean to discuss in here. What have we noticed? Because in so many ways, I can see good signs. I can see some other signs that are not as nice. Other things happening aren't as nice. Or are they? I mean, it's so hard to know now what's a good sign and what's not these days. Because it can be deceptive. Oh, why am I was fine and then I get here and I'm wanting to yawn. Okay, so anyway, this is the ocean's deep woo, and I am the ocean. And tonight we had a mishap. At first, I want to apologize for not being on Wednesday. We had power outs here, and it precluded me getting very much done, which we have here. It was like on and off, on and off. We get weird, we have weird wiring or something in this place. I mean, every other switch has a circuit breaker in it. And if the little lights in the circuit breaker turn red, you have to go over and manually push the button from the switch, from the wall socket, rather, to get the power to come back on, which I've never had anywhere I've lived. Not like this place. This place has these, we had one at my old place in the bathroom, I think it was, and nowhere else. So this place has taken some getting used to, although I guess it's much better to have a circuit breaker than it is to have a fire. So, that kind of thing. The other thing about this place is a lot of the sockets are extremely hard to plug into. You have to, get somebody with big biceps to plug in your plugs in this living room. It's some sort of child-proof thing. It also seems to be most people proof, actually. It's like you have to, have some burly gentleman push your plug in your stuff in the wall for you. I've never lived anywhere quite like this. Hello, Pam, I am. How you doing? Still sorry about the hat, love. So, do you mind telling people I'm on? I forgot to do that. I had a little fight with the computer earlier today. Not a fight, really, but just a little misunderstanding. I thought I was going to be on the PC today. Finally, didn't quite work. So, basically, we had a power out, off and on, off and on. We had, as I told you, lightning struck the building, and we're still not completely repaired from that. It did not a lot of damage to apartments, but it really fried a lot of the systems in this building, including the security system. So now you can no longer buzz people in. You've got to get up and walk out and let people in. You can't just buzz people in anymore. Um, they're still working on that. They're still working on, I guess, some of the electrical part is still in limbo. I guess our fire alarm's back. We now have that working, believe me. They had that go off 3 or 4 or 5 times, and everybody was going nuts because it's so loud and piercing. And then, of course, people keep trying to leave because they think there's a fire, and then people have to go up and down the hallway saying, "No, there's no fire. We're just testing the system." Well, now they should have told us that in the first place. I mean, really, that should have been some little sheet that they gave us saying, "Look, we're going to be testing the alarm system today. Don't flip out." But thank you, Pam. Um, you know, so there's been some weird stuff going on now. Like I said, one of the things I liked about this building is the security. However, it's weird because now the security is one of the things that's uh, not working quite right. However, um, most other stuff is working now, even though I'm still, like I said, there's still problems with the sometimes the electricity, sometimes the internet. But here's what happened. Um, I'm going to tell you about the internet in a minute. What it was a good thing, actually, something good. Thank you, Barry. How you doing? Hi, thank you, Pam. I mean, hi, Barry. How you doing? Okay, so this is The Ocean's Deep Woo. I'm The Ocean, and we do the deepest of woo here. Woo is what we do. We do all kinds of woo, from paranormal to metaphysical to cryptids, and we do UFO type stuff and ETs and aliens and whatever you want to call them. And spiritual stuff and ghosts and uh, hidden history and anything woo at all, any kind of woo, okay, any kind of woo-woo thing, we'll discuss it. We are a bunch of experiences. Easy for me to say sometimes, obviously not today though. Experiencers. And we do have a tendency to believe experiencers until we find out we can't, because they really are the basis that everything is built on as far as studying the subject. Really, this wouldn't exist without eyewitnesses. And if we had this many eyewitnesses in a court of law for some of this stuff that people still are trying to say is fake, that people still are trying to deny, if we had this many eyewitnesses in a court of law, somebody would be convicted for murder right now. So, you know, we have evidence too. We have physical evidence of things. We do. Yes, we do. And well, where is it? Well, if you can keep hold of it, right? Okay, so I've had that kind of thing happen. I've had photographs just vanish. But we're not going to talk about too much about that. What we're going on tonight, what we're going on with tonight is talking about how things have changed. Some of us are seeing changes for the better. Some of us are seeing changes for the worse. Some of us are seeing changes for both. I guess it's time for me to say my little spiel here. Remember, this is just tips, tricks, and hacks for that massively multiplayer holofractal total immersion VR learning game matrix we call life on planet Earth. And with that, hey Justin, I got your videos downloaded. I haven't had a chance your download. I haven't had a chance to watch it. But that's gonna happen. Okay, so what I had happened good. Now look, this year has been all over the place, really. And I realize that, and it looks bad. And there are a lot of things that look really, really, really freaking bad. But we keep getting messages that it's actually getting better no matter how bad it looks. So if that is so, then it must be getting really good somewhere along the way because it looks really, really bad, you know? But as I go on, I realize that there are shortages, but it's only in certain things. And then when they show back up again, they're a little different. I will say again that I think what is happening is the things we're having shortages of are being replaced with a healthier version, with a better version. And maybe that's why we've been having a lot of internet stuff go on too. There is an alternative internet on the rise, an alternative to internet. And I have put the information in our group. I sent the video into our MeWe group, MeWe.com. And the group is the Galactic Woo Crew. And you're welcome to join if you haven't joined. But the video's there where it talks about this new system called Bastion, Bastion, that is not able to be abused the way that most of these apps can be abused. It's a peer-to-peer system, open source. And that is a sign that people are thinking outside the box now. They're realizing that the way internet is now is not secure and it needs to change. To me, this is a positive thing. People are beginning to come up with alternatives. So I think that there will be a time when there will be alternatives to the internet that we have that will be superior in a lot of ways and will not be able to be used against you. Because right now we're hearing about things like social credit scores, etc. And it's going to be based off of your posts, your comments, and so on and so forth. Which they already have in China. And I think China is where they're testing out all the really nasty stuff to see if they can get by with it, what it does to people. And then the place they're testing it here in the States is California. They're testing things. But I don't think things are going to go through. Once again, I don't think things are going to work the way they want them to ever again. I don't believe they are. Okay, gas and firewood are so expensive that some people are burning furniture. I hear that, Justin. We're really gonna have to think of other ways of staying warm and etc. I think we've got a rough patch coming up. Yeah, social credit score is trying to creep its way in. 220 for a quart of firewood? Better get yourself an X. Live near some trees, I guess. Holy moly. You learn to cook on a rocket stove, I guess. I've heard that the people in Europe will be freezing this winter. Okay, and there are sources like Elena Denon that are telling us, on the one hand, all of the big baddies are off of this planet, and my pendulum agrees. The worst of them are gone, but their lackeys are still here. They've still got some smaller parasites that are still gumming up the works. And I don't think I really even have to mention their names, do I? You all know who they are. Mr. Turdo, Mr. Sleepy Joe, Sleepy Creepy, and other people who are just, you wonder to yourself how the heck they ever became a leader. Well, it's a trap people can fall into. We have had some really shitty leadership on this planet. The people aren't down with it. The vocal minority, very vocal minority, is overriding the majority, because I believe the majority of people are not down with this crazy crap we're having to deal with. But I also am getting a very strong message that one of the things we have to do is we have to stand up for ourselves. And this is not the time to just sit back and say, oh, it'll just clear up. It's like, if this is happening to you, then you have to say, no, I'm not going to take this anymore. And do your work to get this solved. I've been trying to get some things handled in my personal life. Hey, James Ortiz, how you doing? Gumby sold out Canadians, yes, certainly did. Castro Jr. So many cool names for him. Parasites. YJ just came up with a brand new word, parasites. Right. Mm. Things are so bad, people are poaching firewood. See, I would like to hear what is going on in this world. You paid really $600 for 3 cords of wood. Mm. Well, for a long time, I've been collecting solar and crank powered stuff. I've been learning how to do things in a simpler way. I know this is not going to be adequate for some of you, but you've got to realize I think we're getting into the meat of the war. And it's here in the northern regions, it's going to be a Cold War indeed, isn't it? We have to do something. We have to change things. Now, I'm hearing, on the one hand, I hear all of these people going, no, it's just something that we just have to, I can't change it, so I'm just going to go back to whatever, I don't know, this sort of not worry about it. And it's like, I'm not saying to worry about it. I'm saying we have to do something about it. It's time to act. If you're not acting, if you haven't got some food safe back, if you haven't got alternative ways to heat yourself, if you haven't got alternative ways to run your stuff, you need to get that and fast. This is not going to go away right away. We have been warned that this is going to happen. And although it's a step towards things getting better, it's going to feel a whole lot worse at first. What's happening is people have to get upset enough. People have to get upset enough to say, I'm not taking it anymore. I'm done. It's over, pal. You're out. You're done. We're not putting one more foot in front of the other. We're not doing another damn stick of work. Let me tell you what I did. And maybe this is something you need to hear. I've had in my life, I have done almost nothing but try and help people, try and do the right thing, and I have helped many people and I have done the right thing, but, and put one foot in front of the other and trust and all of that. But still, here I am at 65 with all these things that I'd love to do and all these things that I can't do because of my physical condition and some other things. And I said, look to my guides. I did. I went to my guides. I went to my angels. I said, look, and these are the beings that, you know, watch over us. You got to be careful who you're talking to, of course, but these are the beings that watch over us. You got to remember some of them have never been physical, and some of them it's been so long since they've been physical, they've forgotten what physicality is like. I said, look, if I don't get some relief, and sometimes you have to just be this way with talking to the universe, talking to your guides, talking to, what do you want to call it? God? You got to say, look, you want me to keep doing my job? I'm striking for better conditions. Things have got to freaking work out then, okay? I've got to be in less pain. I've got to be able to move around. I've got to have freaking internet that doesn't have to kill me. I have to have food that is not going to poison me. I need better conditions, or I'm not going to do this anymore. Okay? You want me to keep doing this? I'm not getting paid for most of the stuff I do. Not money anyway. So I'd better start having a better life. Things had better get easier. Or you can just count on me to not do anything anymore. Thank you. I never heard it put that way, but that's pretty cool. I turn up the noise controls. I don't mind firewood thieves. They're edible. Oh, well, there you go. Hey, Project Skyfalls. Yeah, I don't think it's unreasonable for us to say, and maybe it's even part of our path, to not just meekly sit here and go, okay, I'm still going to do my job, even though I don't have the way to do my job. I don't even have a functional internet. I don't even have power. I don't even have heat. I think it's perfectly reasonable for us to say, hey, if I'm representing something here and you want me to keep doing my job, there's got to be some on the job conditions that are better than what I'm experiencing, or I'm going to stop. I'm just going to stop. I think we ought to be allowed to do that. But you know what happened? Basically, a lot of my swelling went down. Boom. I got a call from Spectrum, our internet service, got a call from Spectrum saying, we think there's something wrong with your internet. Can we come over there and check it? Have you been having any strange experiences with your internet? Yeah, nothing but, you know, I'm like, how interesting. They're calling me about this, right? And so they had a guy, well, when do you want to schedule this? Well, we got an appointment tomorrow. Okay, come tomorrow. And the guy came and they gave me a different system now. They said, oh, yes, something was something was definitely wrong with your modem. Because I told him flat out, I said, look, yes, there's a problem with my internet. Every time I turn it on, I can't even turn it on without getting a horrible headache. I get migraines from it. I get this heavy feeling in my shoulders and they hurt. I feel like I'm being hurt by this thing, so I leave it off most of the time. And they're there going, "Oh, well, that's not supposed to happen." And though the guy that I was talking to, he said, "I've never heard anybody complain of it before, but I guess it's not impossible that that could be happening." And just the fact that he said that, he said, "I was thinking about that today. All these waves traveling through the air, are they doing something? Could they be doing something to people? Could they be doing something to us?" I said, "Well, yeah, they certainly do. For some people, it certainly seems like if you're sensitive, they certainly do. I cannot turn on my internet without getting sick." Well, they came over and fixed it. And guess what? I didn't even notice when they had it on. I didn't notice the difference. Now I'm beginning to feel a little bit, but it's been a few days now. Pardon me, yawn. I shouldn't be yawning. I have had plenty of rest. I don't know what's going on. But that often happens when I get on a stream, and I don't know why. I might turn it off to go to sleep. I think I'm going to turn it off to go to sleep. But they gave me two things. They gave me a modem and a router system now, and they did all that for free. That was free. And they're going, "That's interesting." First of all, they called me and said, "We think there's something wrong." Second of all, this was all done for free. They said, "Yeah, we're checking all our stuff, all of the older equipment. It needs to be replaced now." I think they're replacing I think the older systems were effed up. I think there was something wrong with them, something wrong about them. Right, right. Angry for the Europeans, pissed as angry. Like I said, I bought a t-shirt. I'll wear it sometime and show you. I bought a t-shirt that says, "We the people are pissed off." I think we need to be pissed off. I think that's the only way we're going to change anything. Otherwise, we will let things come in the way of it. We will let things go. We will let people do their shitty things to us and never do anything about it. We get complacent. But here's the other thing I told my guides. I said, because I have heard from people before, "Oh, they're just pushing you to do this and that and the other thing," right? They're pushing you. Well, I said the same thing I said when I was trying to move. All this bad stuff is happening to push you to go on. And I'm there. You know what? I'm done with this pushing stuff. It's not helping. I'm used to being miserable. I've been miserable most of my life. Misery it just makes me hunker down. If you've been on this path a long time, and you've had a lot of miserable things that you've had to be strong about, it doesn't do any good to push you with making you more miserable. You just double down on being tougher. And it's almost like you don't notice it. You notice it, but you're just like, "Okay, time to be even freaking tougher than I was before," I guess. So what I said was, "You guys better start pulling. I want to see some pulling. I want this pushing shit to end. I want to see you pull," which means I want to see an end to the negative conditioning, negative shit. I better see some positive stuff. If I don't see positive stuff, I'm going to quit. If the negative stuff happens, I'm just going to quit. I'm quitting. I'm going to figure I'm on the wrong path. I'm doing the wrong thing. If I see some positive stuff happen, then I'll think, okay, it looks like I might be on the right path now. So positive stuff has started to happen. I'm in less pain, although I still have my back send me up the wall once in a while, sometimes. When it does, and I would ask you to please put some healing energy towards helping me fix my body so I can get some of this stuff done. I am tired of having to do all this while in desperate pain, which has been most of my life. It's been a good over 35 years since my accident. I have never had a pain-free day since. So I had a day that was a lot less pain recently and almost no pain, almost pain-free. And I said, okay, that's more like it. I'll keep going. That's more like it. But I better see this trend continue. I better have more of these days than I have of the other kind. I think we have to put our foot down. Hello, Circle K. I think we have to put our foot down and say, look, universe, I'm not going to work for you unless I get better conditions. And especially you guys in Europe, and especially wherever they're doing this crazy madness, trying to freeze you out, trying to starve you out. You guys have got to now remember, there's way more of you than there are of them. And if the intel is right, and I'm going to ask again tonight, if the intel is true, the worst of the parasites are gone. Now we just got, like YJ says, we just got the parasites. Actually, we have the lackeys, and they're trying to hang on so bad. Most of them are humanoid, at least oid. And basically, we got to get rid of these guys, you know. We have got to get stuff in place that supports us and just, honest to God, rise up and put our foot down and just say that's it. And we may not even, I'm not sure we can use the systems that they have put there because they have corrupted those systems. We may have to do this in an alternative fashion somehow. And this is not saying violence. No, this is not saying anything hateful. This is saying firm resolve that, hell no, we ain't in your song and we're not falling for your dog and pony show. We're not buying this song and dance. We're not putting up with it. We're not going another foot. We're not dragging this cart down this road one more foot, okay? Not another inch even. Until you give us what we want. We're the citizens. There's more of us than there are you, pal. What if we just stop? What if we just stop? Stop. Stop supporting you. What if we stop supporting your ass? What if we stop giving you what you need? And this is not the universe. This is the corrupt leaders. What if we stop giving you what you need? What if we just fix things so you can't get what you need? It can be done. You don't think it can be done? It can be done. There's ways to do this, and really, I know what it cost the truckers, but I don't think that was an evil thing to do. I was actually behind what the truckers did. It may have started for a bad reason. It ended up being a wake-up call to everybody that things can happen. We were all putting our foots down and saying, look, these mandates aren't going to fly, pal. we have to be like that. It's going to be rough. In some parts, it's going to be rough. I'm sorry. You're going to have to do your own. I pray for all of you. I send energy towards all of you in your fight, in your quest to do this. Yes, Project Skyfalls, we shall. I'm going to tell my angels to get in touch with your angels and get you whatever it is you need. Yes, the power vacuum. You've got a point, Barry. I think that's what they're going to try and do. Well, you know what? I've got a kind of a corollary thing to that. It's going to be hard for us to all stop using the money system. But I think it's very important, very, very important. And I have always said this, and I try to practice it myself. If this is capitalism, then there's only one thing that they will understand: vote with your money. Okay, so we still have money left. Let's use it. Do not, and this is going to be hard, do not buy products that you don't believe in from companies that are killing us. Don't put your money, if we stopped supporting the criminals, and some of you got addictions, I understand, to sugar and maybe some other things. It's very hard. I have had my wrestle with it, and you know this. I quit refined sugar and flour every now and then. I still have a bite or two. I'm still struggling with my addiction, but we've been addicted on purpose to certain things. I haven't bought a new set of clothes in a long time. I'm wearing my old ones. I'm not changing my furniture. Everything's coming from secondhand shops. Everything in here except my computer. Well, no, my computer too. My tablet's you know what? Everything except my freaking phone. Everything in here is secondhand. Everything. Yeah, and the chair. The chair. I traded, yeah. That's it. That's it. My place is furnished from a thrift shop. It's not using money, but it's not using money where they want us to. Unfortunately, there's some things I must do through Amazon. However, I try to be careful who I'm buying from there too. You're sitting on your truck registration bill. Why isn't paying it once enough? You know, I don't know. Circle K. How many times does it need to be registered? You know what? That's another thing. Why in the hell should you have to do that kind of shit? It's your fucking truck. Pardon my French. Ken, hey Ken, how you doing? Ken Rotman's in. One of our Aussie friends. Let's turn a little bit to everybody in this chat, every one of you that needs help for some reason. And if you want to join with me in this, I'm going to say this. Look, universe, look, guides, look, angels. We're doing our job. We're doing our best. We're trying to keep on our toes. We're trying to keep informed. We're trying to spread the truth. This is what it would seem you want us to do. But you know what? We're going to quit if we don't get better conditions. We're going to just sit here and let it go. We're not going to do our job anymore unless we get better conditions. It's got to get better. We've got to see signs of it getting better. It cannot be all bad. This is not working. Okay? Say it to your angels, say it to my angels, say it to the guides that may not understand this. It's hard down here. It hurts. It's painful. It's real unpleasant sometimes. I know that some of you don't understand this. Some of you are ETs and you can't even imagine how we live. Can't imagine what it must be like. Some of you are ascended masters. It's been a long time for you. Some of you are angels. You've never been human. But let me tell you, this is a big job we're doing here. But we need better conditions. We need something. Okay? I know it can be done. It can't be this hard. Why should it be this hard for everybody? Yeah, why do we have to keep paying for a driver's license over and over? Well, project, that can happen. But you can talk to them whether you know them or not. Hey, Jackie. You can talk to them whether you know them or not. And did you know something? You tell them what to do. They were created. They serve us. They're ours. They were given to us. Okay? Our angels, my angels, I command them. I tell them what to do. That's part of my job. That's part of your job. Tell them what needs done. How do you think it? I think, okay, I don't want to get too revved up here, but it seems to me like we're part of the, as YJ put it, neural net of the system. We're part of the brains. We're part of what is supposed to regulate it. I think we're really supposed to be stewards of this place. I think that's what we're really supposed to be. And part of our job is to let these beings know what the fuck is wrong so they can correct it. It's not all on us to correct it. It's on us to tell them to go correct it. Do your job. Look, there's a place over here that's dry. Could you please go over there and I'm always nice. But how do I get it to rain? In certain places, how do I do that? I just talk to them and I say, hi guys, because I've developed a relationship with them. You see, I go out and I talk to them. I talk to the clouds. I know this sounds weird from some perspectives, but doggone it sure does work. I talk to the cloud beings. I say, you know what, guys? Over there in Texas, they're having a hell of a time. They need water. You need to rain over there. And unless there's some kind of an impediment, they'll go and rain over there. It takes from 1 to 4 days sometimes. But I tell you, every single time it's rained within 4 days. Yes, we can do that. If we tell the nature spirits what we need and say, look, this is bad for everybody. And usually, as long as it's good, it's a good thing. As long as you can justify it as being a good thing for everybody, this is a good thing. This is not an evil thing that we're doing. I'm not sure that all of the elementals really understand the difference between what we consider good and bad. That's the problem. So there are evil people that command them to do things and they don't know. Remember, now I'm getting really hot in here. Isn't that interesting? It's like somebody turned, I'm not cold at all now. I was chilly earlier. Some kind of heat it's interesting. Whatever it is, thanks. I think I'm being sent some kind of energy. Yes. Ask your angels to intervene. Tell them to. Tell them to do their job. Tell them to do their freaking job. They don't mind. It's what they live for. It's what they were created to do. They were created to do jobs. They weren't created to just sit around. They actually hate sitting around. Do you know what? I can actually talk to them. I can even see them sometimes. Quite often I can see them. And sometimes they're sitting there bored as fuck. Okay, bored as hell. Do you think they're worried about me saying fuck? They're not one bit worried about me saying fuck. It's not really hurting any of them, right? No, they're sitting there bored as hell, looking for something to do. Send your angels to do tasks. Practice that. I'm not kidding. You want the world to change? Change it. Change it. Realize that you have the power to do it. You have the power to command angels. It falls on you as a human being. I don't know if you believe in that or not, but if you don't, I'm sorry about your luck. Maybe you'll have to think of it in another way, explain it in some other way to yourself, but honestly, that's the way I see it. And as far as the elementals are concerned, they don't know we have to tell them. It's sort of like a machine, folks. Almost like we're in a matrix, isn't it? We have to be at the controls because if we're not at the controls, somebody else will be at the controls. You understand what I'm saying here? If you don't take charge of your life, somebody else will. Right. We've got a couple planets that finally made it out of retrograde. Hate to tell you, 7 more are going in. 7 planets are going into retrograde very soon. I'm going to do a show about that. Right. Totally geoengineered. Well, then you know what, Ken? You need to get in touch with those cloud people and tell them, and particularly the thunder beings, and say, you know what? They're drowning us down here. You've got to quit raining for a while. Well, maybe, Jackie. I'm not going to argue with that. I didn't believe it always. But you know what? Once you start having a little bit of faith in yourself, you become a very, very dangerous person. So dangerous that sometimes people try to stop you. And yes, I've had that happen a lot. And I know a lot of people who have had that happen. We all do. Have had people that we know. You just don't let everybody know what you're up to. Don't let the wrong people know what you're up to. Yeah, the fairies. Oh, I missed something. Somebody's having a baby. Ah, the moon at night. You know what? When I was a kid, the moon used to come into my room. My window was faced toward the moon in my room, and the moon used to tell me all kinds of things. The moon lady, the lady of the moon, she used to tell me all kinds of things. Well, congratulations, Ken. Yes. What exactly, Overlander? Then it happens in the best way it energetically can through synchronicities. That's right. Synchronicities. There's been other good things happening. So don't, but we're so used to this stranglehold that now that we're free, we don't know what being free is. We have a little bit of freedom. We have a little bit of light. We see a little bit of light there. We better run for it. We better run for it. We better grab it. We have a little bit of power. We have a lot of power, actually, a lot more than we think. We better take charge of it and start wielding it. You, as I have said every time on this show, are divine. You're creators. You decide. You've got to start deciding what's going to happen in this world and put up with no less and just be willing to dare the universe to show you how good it can be. Thank you, Jackie. You know what? Thank you for that. Because every one of us that does that, no matter how it looks at first, it adds to the power of all of us. Well, it's interesting. Yeah, I had a lady that used to come into my room when I was a kid and talk to me. She was all silvery white when I was a kid. I haven't seen her recently, but I think she hears me. Yeah, this is another thing. Don't let everybody know what you're up to. Don't let everybody, there are people who will shut you down. People will shut you down because they don't believe and they don't want you to either. And they don't want to believe. They just want to be, there are some people that are only happy when they're sad. I'm sorry. Oh, the baby's doing cartwheel. Maybe the baby will be a gymnast, Ken. Wow. Wow, Ken, a whole month without a strike, and then you finally got one. But oh well, that you're getting somewhere anyway. Congratulations. Ken is really good at getting strikes. My gosh, it's one of his best skills. Yeah. I've been dodging them because I'm using humor and parody. And if you use humor and parody, you can get by with a lot. The baby's doing spinning roundhouse kicks. Gonna be another Chuck Norris. Oh, a ginger giant. Daddy is a ginger giant. Baby daddy is a ginger giant. Woo. Anunnaki. That isn't a bad thing. They were very powerful people. They still are. But congratulations. You can change things. I'm telling you right now, I have changed things. It took a lot for me to believe it. I'm here to be your cheerleader. I'm telling you, you can do it. You can do it. You can change things. You can make things happen simply by telling your angels what they need to do, simply by telling the elementals what needs to be done. But I ask you to please don't fall into the trap of asking for the secondhand stuff, the secondhand want. I want this so that. No, ask for your primary want. Okay, and don't think of it as a want, because a want is always a lack. So think of it as I desire. I desire things to be different. We need to change our words too. I desire things to be different. I am not enjoying the current reality, and I desire it to be different. Well, that's the thing about a lot of the giants. Those ginger giants, they have a tendency to be very strong physically. So I know some. They tend to be very physically strong. So yeah, we need people like that. Oh, she wants to be rich in real estate. Well, good. You know, I don't know. This month I have about $30 between me and the end of the month. I don't know where some things are going to come from. However, I am putting the order out there that everything's going to fall together and I'm going to be just fine. Like I said, the conditions have got to be good or I'm just not doing it no more. You know what? Dane here, he's a life coach type. Um, one of the things he did, he made it very definite. He said that he had come to the end of his rope and he told the universe, if things don't get better, I'm going to end it. He threatened suicide on the universe. He said, you better show me how this gets better or I'm just going to end it because I've had it. But after he threatened, and he meant it wasn't an idle threat, but after he did that, stuff showed up. It didn't all get handled all at the same time, but it did get handled. And now he's rich. He owns a castle. Okay. So he's doing fine. He went from wanting to end his life to being now a rich guy with pretty much everything he wants. Well, you know what, Ken? That's interesting. That's why they used to actually catch Bigfoot over in Russia. There's stories about that. They used to catch them and enslave them because They're big and strong. They can do the work of 10 men. Okay, Circle K says parasites have blown a big time. I think a lot of people are unexpectedly waking up because of the bozo politics and other obvious blunders. Yes, because the brains are gone. The brains of the operation have took off. That I'm sure of. I can guarantee that the brains are gone. Why? Because what they're doing is so stupid. You know, the brains of the operation are no longer there. And now they're just trying stupid shit that they tried before that didn't work. Same stupid shit. Yes. So I agree. Well, you know what? What if you can be rich in all of it? What if you don't have to choose? What if you can be rich in all ways? You know, because I mean, we have all of these sayings like lucky in love, unlucky, lucky in cards, unlucky in love, or whatever. Um, Maybe it doesn't have to be a choice. Maybe it can be nice in all ways. Maybe you don't have to choose. Oh, Ken? Really? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, well, that would be a short one, actually, 10 foot tall. Kind of a short guy. They get to be 15. I'm kidding. That's pretty tall, no matter how you slice it. But yeah, I think Duke told that story. Yes, he did. Yep, Duke did tell that story. Okay. Yeah, conspiracy theories are getting to be way more mainstream than they used to. Isn't that funny? We don't sound as crazy anymore as we used to sound, do we? No, a lot of people are going, you know what? That kind of makes sense. Wait a minute. I have actually gone up to people and they've said conspiracy theory, and I said, yeah, and look at how many of them turned out to be true. And they go, what do you mean? And then I list off a few, and they go, oh, gotta keep reminding people. They forget. They're mind washed. Did you hear what the latest is? I don't think he's actually going to do this. I don't think he's actually done it or going to do it. But supposedly, Sleepy Joe, Creepy Joe, is going to give amnesty to everybody who went to prison on a marijuana related charge. That's one of the things he's campaigning on. And he's also making a deal for border security with Mexico, which, but he kind of has to do that. I mean, if he doesn't do something, he's going to be, people have had it with this guy. I mean, I don't think this is going to save his career, though. Even if he does this, he might get a few votes. But honestly, if you look at his track record, that only means he knows what he should have been doing all along. He just wasn't doing it. And now the chips are down. He's going to start doing some things he should have been doing all along just to get those votes. I hope people recognize that. An atheist said in chat the other day, if it turned out Bigfoot was real, the Christians wouldn't believe in God. You're right. That makes no sense. What? Yeah. Well, most of us would be happy just to be able to live a freaking life, wouldn't we? Wouldn't we be happy to just live a nice freaking life? Hmm? A nice life where we didn't have to work too hard, where we didn't have to, where we weren't starving and freezing and overheating and constantly having to scramble to get, to take care of ourselves and take care of our health, not constantly having to guard ourselves against being poisoned by the food we eat, by the stuff we use, by the pharmaceuticals they try to prescribe for us. What That's what most of us really want. We just want to live. A lot of us, we don't care that much about the frills. We just want to be able to live in a nice way, in a comfortable way, in a pleasant way. That's what we want, right? Some of us have higher aspirations, and you know what? I want to be rich, 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 rich. I want to be wealthy as anything. I want about $500 million. And you know why? Because I got ways to spend that'd blow your hair back. I got some ideas about how I want to spend that. It ain't going to be the way people would think. It would be a whole different ball game. If I got that kind of money, a lot of things would change for everybody. Certainly for everybody in this chat, because you're my long-term family, my long-distance family. But in the world, there's some things I could do in the world. I would be pretty fly, I'll tell you that. Ah, compared to vocals of a Sasquatch. Yeah, that's interesting. I'd kind of like to see that. Barry would be buying dog food with it, lots of dog food. If I had that kind of money, we'd have our eco village. And we'd have it on a very nice place. And we would start to show people that you don't have to work that hard just to live. I mean, really, a lot of this is artificially created. A lot of this bullshit that we have to deal with is strictly artificial. Like you're saying, all these licenses you got to pay over and over and over and over and over again. What's up with that? You know, that's ridiculous. There's so many ridiculous things that are only there for the purpose of making somebody else rich. Recurring revenue, yeah. Oh, yeah. I would have everything set up to where I wouldn't ever have to work. I wouldn't ever have to work. It'd just keep coming in. Stuff would just keep coming in. We'd have everything we wanted, everything we desired. And we would be changing things. And you know what? I think that's what some people are so afraid of. So, that many gets into the wrong hands, which are the right hands. A lot of freaking things would change, wouldn't they? As a matter of fact, I would start industries. Industries would start that we didn't have yet. There would be a lot more emphasis on stuff that doesn't kill us. Stuff that works but doesn't kill us. I know it can be done. Circle K says this My spirit guide is a magical unicorn. Cool. Oh, yeah, just in case. Story about Xana. Um, yeah, the Bigfoot that had children with human. Yeah, Xana. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? A hairy African tribe used as slaves during the Tsar era, rather. You know, Circle K, my friend Paul, you've seen him. He's been on. He tells me the unicorns have returned. I agree. He tells me he knows they have. He's a unicorn person, and he tells me they have definitely returned. So I haven't seen them yet myself, but I believe they have returned. Enough people are saying it. Yeah. Greetings and favor to you and everybody, David Castle. Yeah. Not having to work or not having to work very hard. I mean, there's probably things that there's probably in a different world, in a world set up to be easy, instead of everything having to be hard to make work for people. You can probably, I mean, now we have a lot of stuff that's automated. You know, we probably wouldn't have to work hard at all if we do this right. But you know, people are wanting to make a profit off all this. So they're going to set it up so we still have to work hard. Now look what automation has done to us so far. Oh yes, we can do so many things with it, but has it made life easier? Not the way it's set up. It needs to be set up so it really does make our lives easier instead of harder and more complicated. Because right now, I remember computers were supposed to come in and save us so much time and energy. What did they do? They took all our time and energy. The care and maintenance, and then using them and getting addicted to them. Um, we have to set things up in a way. Oh, that's another thing. Well, you love the vacuum cleaning. You know what? There are little robots that can do. I mean, that's something robots should be doing. You know, that's something you should have a robot for, is vacuum cleaning. It's boring, it's repetitive. That's a perfectly good job for a machine. They don't care. Humans get bored. That's true. And they're also using AI to, not only are humans using AI to write fiction, they're using AI to make art. AI art is weird. I've seen some good AI art and I've seen a lot of really bad AI art. I tried to use it and it came out really weird. I didn't like it. It needs some work. Right, Justin. You know what? Yeah. It doesn't take that much, really, if you're not, you know, to just live, and you're living in a village where everybody's helping out, doing things together. I mean, this is why the Amish can put up a barn in a day, you know. It doesn't take that long, and then they have a party, you know. If you think of it that way, I mean, there's all kinds of things that we do that are just don't really need to be doing to live, just to live. We just think we have to, and we have to because everybody expects it. So, you know, getting back to what I said, what I was asking, are they really gone? I think the big ones are gone. I think the smaller ones are lingering. I really like Overlander's parasites word. I think that's the word of the evening. Parasites. Spare parasites they pull out of their pocket. I think that's what some of this stuff is. Did you notice? This is interesting. One of the cures, and I got to be careful saying this because this is not a recommendation, a medical recommendation of a cure or a treatment of any kind. But I hear on the sly, ivermectin kills the stem cells of cancer as well as the C word, the other C word. So no wonder ivermectin is just so maligned. But yeah, ivermectin was just so maligned. It's a horse dewormer. Now there are human uses for ivermectin, and that is a fact. But you're not going to hear about that because there's remdesivir. 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 Doesn't even sound good, does it? Remdesivir. Your rim is in a rear. There's so many bad things I could do with that. Oh, geez. I I could really go bad. I could really go bad with that. I could really say some naughty, naughty things. I won't. I'll just let your mind do it because you got a dirty mind. You know you do. Eh. Okay. And I'll let you construct it. But they want, and remdesivir doesn't really work. The thing is, it doesn't really work that good. So, yeah, there are all kinds of cures for all kinds of things that we really need to have come to the forefront now. But you know what I think is really going to work for everything? I have been having so much of a difference with using the frequencies. And if you haven't done it yet, please join my MeWe group, MeWe.com. Go to a group that says Healing Frequencies and a bunch of stuff after it. But Healing Frequencies. And the healing frequencies I'm putting in there. And I want you, when you find one you like, put it in there. I'm getting a lot of good out of the healing frequencies. Now realize we're already living partly in the fifth dimension right now. We're living in a time and a space where you can just go on YouTube, find a file, find a video, a frequency video, and click it and play it in the background, or play it while you sleep, or play it in the background of your day even, and even play it just barely loud enough to hear. And it changes things. I'm not kidding. It changes things. We're beginning to understand what Tesla wanted us to understand. Frequency, vibration. That's the ticket, guys. That's how we can change things. And it's being handed to us. Now, it wasn't easy getting this back. I was one of the people that helped to bring this technology back with my intentions. I would tell people about it. I would set intentions for it for months, years, that it would come back on the table, because I think it's the way to go. It's going to be, in the future, it's all going to be sound and light. And then it's just going to be vibration. But sound and light, folks, it's a vibration. That's how you change things without having to really change anything, without having to lift your hand, except to click. Right now, you can actually just click it, play it, and it starts to work. Yes, Circle K. Yes, it does work. And they have them for all kinds of purposes, and they're continually making more. I've counted dozens. There are dozens of places making those files now. Thank you. Thank you, Pam. You know what? Honestly, get yourself over there. Start listening to this stuff. Or just if you don't want to join that group, I understand you don't have to, but it's nice. I really would like to start a community there of us finding stuff that works, the ones that work the best, and putting them in there so that we can all click them. We can all get better. I'm trying to put some in there that I found that work. There are things to break hexes and curses. There are things to protect you against parasites. There are things to deparasite you. There are things to help your throat chakra. There are things to help your base chakra. There are things to help there are frequencies to help every part of your body, your circulatory system, your digestive system, to help increase your positive energy, to help decalcify your third eye, on and on and on and on and on and on. And some of them work better than others. So let's put the best ones in there that we can find and tell people our experiences with these things. Because I think this is one way that we can do this without, it doesn't cost anything. You can do this for free. Now, if you want to pay for a download and have it always, on your phone or whatever, or computer, you can do that too. There's ways to order these things and have them always. But for now, we do have the internet, and we can just play them at will anytime we want. And it works. What are we complaining? So try it. Just give it a shot. It may take a little while if you got some very ingrained thoughts, very ingrained things going on. But honestly, the more you work with it, the more you find it works. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. These things can actually help. I'm having a lot different, like I said, I'm having a lot different experiences since I've really been hitting them again. For a while, I wasn't using them too much. Now I'm using them again, like all the time. And every time I sleep, I'm playing something. to program my mind so that I'm waking up positive. Although I've got to stop falling asleep at some of these shows, at some of these live streams. I got to stop falling asleep. I don't want to be sleep programmed by some of these shows. But yeah, find yourself a good file that you want, like miracles. I've had some miracles happen, all right? You can have miracles happen. Yeah. You've got to get in the right mindset to accept it. Here's part of the problem. We're not programmed to accept it. We're programmed to try and shoot holes in why it can't be a miracle, why it can't happen, and why it can't be a miracle. People will try and shoot holes in it, and it's like, just don't tell anybody then. Don't tell those people. You don't owe them anything. You can say, hey, you might want to try this. And then shut up about it and let them figure it out for themselves. If they want to shoot holes in it, it's like, F them. It's their, it's nothing to you. As a matter of fact, if you're in a family and you're doing this, maybe don't tell them that this stuff that's playing in the back is actually doing something. So, that's my 2 bits on it, is maybe you don't tell them. Because if they're just gonna, complain and whine and moan, and if things are getting better, you're not hurting anybody. Oh yeah, my EMF poncho. I did find it. I'm wearing yes, I'm wearing my EMF, my Q-Link EMF blocker. It doesn't all the way block thing. It didn't block the Wi-Fi, but then Wi-Fi might be a little different than EMF. It wasn't blocking that Wi-Fi. Maybe that's why I didn't notice. I was wearing this. But yeah, I did find my poncho. I'm going to be wearing it more often. You're manifesting faster, yeah. Max uses Z-App, yes. I have Z-App too, although it drives the cat's ears crazy. Right. I mean, if your kids can handle it. Yeah, they might be zapping us with bozo ration. I'm telling you, there was something about that router, that Wi-Fi, was wrong, and they knew it. They knew it. That's why they called me. That's why I'm saying things might be getting better, but they can't do it all at once because things are just so ingrained. Oh, this thing is getting big on me. Things are just so ingrained in our culture now that they have to be careful because people bitch and moan even if you do something like taking fluoride out of the water. That'd be great. There's so many people that are still sold on it being somehow helping tooth decay, although it is a freaking poison and an industrial waste product. There are people who would still bitch about it if it was taken out. So we still have to be a little careful. There's going to be a lot of cognitive dissonance. There's going to be a lot of people not able to really understand what's going on, not really able to be down with the program just yet. There are even going to be people. Have you noticed this bad is good trend? There's another thing. Be careful what you say. This is another thing I noticed. A few decades ago, they started using ill and sick to mean good. The double speak words, you got to be careful. People say, "Oh, that's sick," when they mean that's great, that's good. That's sick. How much has sickness increased and illness since that trend? And even though we don't all say it, that was a trend. And sickness and illness really became quite a big problem for everybody. Now everybody's sick and ill, it seems like, right? I got all this. Gotta be careful. That's why I want. Gotta get it. Gotta get around that word somehow, because that's a lack. So we have to start saying stuff like desire. Well, you don't have to do anything, I say, but if you want good results, you might want to have to do it. That's right. The fluoride actually does not protect your teeth. Right. It's for decreasing IQ and making you docile. It's to calcify your third eye. That's all. Your pineal gland. Yeah, fluoride is a toxin, an industrial waste program. It's a program too, actually. And I'm trying to say several things at the same time, apparently. Yeah, it is a program to make people dumber and less able to see the truth. Yeah, an outside influence causing a freaking coma state. Yeah. I don't know why I get the yawns, and it's like I don't really feel like I'm gonna fall asleep. But sometimes I'll be doing this and I just have to yawn. Maybe I just need more oxygen. Maybe I have to work on that. There's another yawn I just stifled. So we lift ourselves up and the causation gives powerfully pleasant returns. Yes, it does, YJ. I'm going to put that up here. Yes, I am doing that too, as much as I can, as much as I can remember to do it. Because honestly, our words are vibrations, and vibrations count. Yes. Okay, Barry. Nice having you. Have a good night. Now what? Now, why am I coughing? Mm. Here's something I've never seen. I haven't seen before. So I've got ginger tea, fresh ginger tea on the stove, and mint tea. That's another thing. You can get a hold of ginger root now, and they sell sprigs of mint. They sell bunches of mint right at Myers. And honestly, for my stomach issues, I've been giving it, and for the inflammation, I've been giving it a lot of ginger is for inflammation and it'll settle your stomach, and so will peppermint. So I made a lovely ginger peppermint tea. It's really good. If you haven't tried putting those two together, try them. They're really good. But you cannot, you know what? I bought a type of a ginger tea, said it was ginger. It wasn't ginger, it was peppermint and a very strong menthol at that. There was no ginger in that tea. You got to be careful. I'd get the root. Get the ginger root at any Chinese supply. And a lot of supermarkets now have ginger, and you can grow ginger in a pot. People have told me. You can grow ginger in a pot. So, and you can grow mint. Mint grows very easily. These are very helpful herbs that you can just grow easily. Another thing I've been doing, I've got a secret plot that I'd like you to partake in if you'd like. Here's what I'm doing kind of secretly. When I have food that, say I've got some berries and they get moldy, say I've got some corn and it's kind of old. Now I buy non-GMO stuff. That means it reseeds itself. It's going to reseed itself. So what I do, instead of just throwing it away or grinding it down the disposal, I found a nice ravine I can throw it in. I throw all this stuff in the ravine. You know, years ago I started doing this with the berries and it grew a berry patch. Really. It's that simple. Take your food, non-GMO food that can seed itself, and throw it in a waste area somewhere, hopefully with a water supply nearby so that it gets water. It will seed itself, honestly. And pretty soon you'll have a food forest nearby. And I'm doing that everywhere I go. I'll throw a handful of seeds of some kind here and there. Some of us have been doing this for years. I also buy a packet of wildflower seeds and throw them here and there in waste areas so that we can have the wildflowers back, because some of those wildflowers are actually herbs. Mhm. YJ. The most happiness I've ever felt was one day waking up and my bedroom door was open, the bed, and I could hear all the kids making a disaster in the kitchen, making pancakes and just giggling away. Ah, yes. True. For me, best time of my day, and the best time of his day too, is I'm sitting on the edge of my bed looking at stuff on my phone, petting the cat. And he turns up his little soft, fluffy belly, silky belly, and he just loves it. And he purrs and he purrs and he purrs. And I pet him and I pet him and I pet him. And I mean, it's a wonderful time of the day. I'm just relaxing and petting the cat. That's It's nothing big. It's just normal stuff, but it's great. It's it's a wonderful good time. It's just a normal little thing that happens in my day. I wake up and the kitty is there and I pet him and he purrs and he's so happy to see me. It's nice. I don't have kids, but I got a kitty cat. That's cool, Circle K. Right. And you know what? I have seen them take root. I have seen them take root. Oh, yeah. Well, see, that's the other thing. Yeah. And I live in a college town, and the college kids kind of gravitate to me. Yeah. Younger people gravitate to me most. So I know what you mean. Yeah, people have forgotten that really food comes right from the ground. Food really does grow on trees. Money doesn't grow on trees. Well, the wood pulp does, but the fruit grows on trees, doesn't it? Fruit grows from the ground. I mean, honestly, you know what? This is another weird thing, and I don't know what to think of this, what this means, but I went out and did a little ceremony out on one of our little patches of ground near here. And when I came out the next day, there were mushrooms or toadstools or something that had grown. I think maybe we got visited by the fairies, almost right on the spot where I was sitting. That was cool. That was really cool. But yeah, you can infiltrate this system in a lot of ways. Take non-GMO food because GMO seeds won't reproduce. They've screwed that up. But take non-GMO seeds, anything with seeds, scatter it in waste places and watch the food grow. Eventually food will grow there because that is the way nature is. It's made to keep going. It's made to live. Life finds a way. We've got perfect places around here, ravines and stuff where there's water. It's kind of marshy. There's water all the time. I mean, I could probably grow almost anything in this ravine, anything that doesn't mind marshy conditions, I guess. But but we've got plenty of water. So, we grew mulberry trees. They were cutting down really ancient mulberry trees, which made me cry because I mean, there were berries that were this long coming off of these trees. And now they have vines growing up and sucker vines that are going to kill them because they cut them up so high because they didn't want people eating the fruit off of those trees. It's horrible. It's a horrible crime. But we can correct it in our own way by replanting all the stuff that they've taken away and causing food forests to just come up in wild places that nobody expects it to be there, healing herbs and stuff just growing everywhere. And if we scatter this everywhere, pretty soon it'll be impossible for it to be all killed off ever again. I mean, if we spread it far and wide to where everywhere you turn, it's there, people start learning about it. I am going to do one day of foraging video and a video on things that you can regrow, but it might be on Frugal B1TCH's channel. It's more of a channel like that, but I am also trying to work out getting something done for Halloween that I've been working on a project. So we'll see if I can get that done. Right, a lot of berry seeds will grow plants. Birds will eat them. Birds will poop them somewhere. And they turn into plants. Guerrilla gardening, exactly. Planting perennial food in places that blend in. Right, exactly. I'm quite a guerrilla gardener. In my old place and even at the old place. Yeah, down in the mud, in that muddy ravine, there are all kinds of blackberries and raspberries. Yep, yep, it can be done. And we need to plant comfrey. We need to plant different mints. Remember, mints will take over an area, so you got to be careful with mint. But you can regrow a carrot, you can regrow celery, you can regrow lettuce from the stump of the plant. You can regrow onions. Garlic is incredibly easy to grow. Garlic will grow nearly, and chives will grow nearly anywhere. Mint will grow nearly anywhere. It's very tough. There's certain things that'll they're weeds. They grow like weeds, but they're herbs. So do it. Be a rebel. Find some waste spaces that nobody's using and plant them. You just put seedlings and tomato plants in for summer and they would have killed them. Who would have killed them? Oh, yeah, and we know where it is. Oh, my God. Pest control people here. Oh, yeah. Right. You know what? There is a technique for that, YJ, and this is how it goes. You take your seeds or berries or whatever it is, and you get a wet paper towel and just a little bit of soil, a little bit of dirt, and you ball it up in a wet paper towel. And, just a little piece of a wet paper towel. You don't even need a whole wet paper towel. Make just a little ball that you can casually drop here and there. And when it gets wet, it'll start activating the seeds and they'll start to grow and the paper towel will decompose. That little tiny bit of paper towel you used will decompose and it'll plant itself. So basically make a spitball full of seeds. Boy, that'd be something, wouldn't it? Make seeds spitballs that you can just go plant them all over the place. Let's see. Raspberries over there. That'd be funny. You know what? We ought to do that. That would be funny. Get one of those big straws like you use for, I don't know, smoothie drinks or bubble tea or whatever. Get one of those. Raspberries. That'd be kind of funny. You can also take your potatoes that sprout, plant them. A lot of things like that. All your squash seeds, all of your every kind of squash, every kind of thing that's non-GMO that has seeds. Peaches, pears, everything. Whatever it is that eats it, and then goes and takes the seeds somewhere. And so I throw all my stuff like that out. Mhm. A battle zone. Oh dear, I'm sorry to hear that. Finally getting somewhere with the weeds. Okay, that's good. Cool. Cool. So you guys are doing best weed killer, especially for thistle, this double strength vinegar. You know what? Here's the thing. I don't know why you'd want this, because dandelions are so nutritious and good for a lot of things. But some plants just don't like sweet soil. And all you really need is baking soda. Sprinkle baking soda over the patch of your lawn where you don't want dandelions to grow, and they won't grow there. There are other things that don't like sour soil, that don't like the vinegar. Yeah, and you can spread vinegar. You can spray vinegar in a spray bottle on stuff and kill it. It'll dehydrate it. Yeah, you can spray salt. You can use salt. You don't have to use poison. Thing about salt, though, you got to watch it. It will keep anything from growing there. Salt is rough on the environment if you overuse it. But you can spray it on a vine or something and it'll die. Most things can't handle salt. Some things can't handle peppers. Yeah, dandelion tea, sure. Dandelion tea is good. Like I said, I don't know why anybody would want to not have dandelions. People are crazy. That's a food plant. That's a food crop. To me, that and the plantain. I especially like the longleaf plantain in salads and stuff. It's really easy to chew and very good in salads. Longleaf plantain, and it's really good for you. There's there's so many of these very common things that are very good for you. We need to do a foraging video. That'd be fun. I wonder what's yet to forage in Ohio in this season. We'll have to find some things that are and go foraging. Nothing but foxtails and gnarly stickers. Oh, well, you know what? What I would do in a case like that is I would be planting some nearby. I'd get a patch uncovered, and I would be planting some things that I wanted that were very tough to kill and invasive, and have your invasive weeds take over the old invasive weeds. Like make sure you water your invasive weeds. Make sure you water your comfrey and mint. Yeah. And then just let them take over. Of course, you can use thistle. You know that, right? You can use thistle. Thistle's actually good. But yeah, I've done that before. Let my weeds take over the weeds that are there. I would just overtake them. Just feed the ones that you want to survive. And they'll eventually duke it out, and strongest weed wins. Epsom salts is plant food. Oh yeah, borrow some goats or sheep. You know what? We had guinea pigs. We had guinea pigs. We had a herd of guinea pigs for a while. And in the summer, we would just let them eat the lawn. We made sure that there were no poisons used on the lawn, and they were safe. And then we'd watch them. We'd just be out, enjoying the lawn, and just let them eat and poop and fertilize as they cut the lawn, of course. And they would eat the lawn all day. So just get yourself an animal that'll eat your lawn eat your weeds for you. Oh yeah, and they make great fertilizer. Oh yes. Yep. Yep. Oh, they're good in the bath. That's right. They're good. They're good to put, and then you take your bath water. See, that's thing. Everybody know. I hope knows that Epsom salts are good to bathe in. It'll take down swelling. It'll take away pain. Um, it's yeah, best way to get magnesium into your body through your skin. Yeah. Um, but then take your Epsom salt bath and throw it on your plants. Yeah, water your plants, the plants that you want to grow with it. It's actually good fertilizer. Yep. Oh, kangaroo poo is good fertilizer. Ken's selling guano now. Maybe that's going to be your big product, Ken. Yeah, kangaroo guano. Yeah, that is a good idea. You need calcium. Yeah. Oh, finally tried out the pool here this summer. Well, how was it? How was the pool? Sounds nice. Yeah, foot bath is good. Yeah, here's another good thing. Well, yeah, I have only a shower now too. I don't have a bathtub anymore. But yeah, you can take a foot bath. It'll do the same sort of thing, just slower, a little slower. But yeah, it's really good for a foot bath, and it is good for the plants. By the way, we can buy bunches now of dandelion greens, and we can buy bunches of mint at one of the stores here, and I'm so happy because I don't feel like going out and picking them. But yeah, dandelions are great nutritionally, and when you whatever wilts and you don't use, or when you're done making tea or whatever, they're also very good fertilizer. And plants with very deep roots will pull the minerals up from the deep soil. So they're usually far more nutritious. So these are the things you consider. We'll do a show on it pretty soon. I'll do it even though it might be the wrong season for some people. But you can get ready for next season. Oh yes, I love to swim. I'll be able to swim again soon. When I'm 65, two things are going to happen. One is I'm going to be able to get silver sneakers, which means I'm going to be able to go to different gyms. And some of them have pools and whirlpools and things. I'll finally be able to get my body in a whirlpool again, maybe. Definitely be able to swim again. I'm really looking forward to that. The other thing that's, yeah, you know what? That's really my favorite thing. The other thing is here in this college town, when you turn 65, you can audit classes for free at the university. Guess what? I think I'll complete my degree. Complete a few degrees, maybe. Why not? Yeah, I would love an outdoor. That would be so great. Yeah, I want a place with an outdoor hot tub. I want that kind of hot tub one day. Okay, Brandy Robinson. And what happened with Brandy Robinson? To send Brandy Robinson what? Some positive thoughts. Okay. Well, okay, everybody, Brandy Robinson needs some positive thoughts. Angels, go figure out whatever, talk to her angels, figure out what she needs, and make sure she gets that. Thank you. I'm sorry to hear that, Ken, but it's good that you can take a good shower now. Oh, yeah. You know what? You can grow plants huge without rapid growth. I mean, I grew big plants. I could not believe I walked out in my yard one time and was looking at tarragon that was looking down at me. It's taller than me. I was so used to bending down to have to pick it, and what is that? Oh my God, it's the tarragon. You know, my herbs would grow huge. My roses grew like crazy all over the place. My and my grapes would it just went nuts. We had so many grapes we couldn't get rid of them all. Grapes is very abundant. Yeah, if you have the seeded Concord grapes, whew, plant those somewhere. Those are good. You know, those are one of the things that will help with a cough or a cold. And elderberries and currants. All of the wild berries are very good against coughs and colds. Those things, you need them. Yeah, water is healing. You know what? And when I went to some of these clothing optional events, one of my favorite things was you could swim naked. You could skinny dip. Nobody thought anything bad of it. When you go to a pagan gathering and I was a vendor and I could get naked, get in a pool and swim naked, and it was the most wonderful experience. It felt so good. Wow. Unless you felt that feeling, you haven't really felt what it's like to swim. And the sick thing is what we do with that. What did we do with that? Made it wrong, right? So, yeah, it got that big. Yeah, that big. I was used to bending to pick it. It was so big, it was looking down at me. It was about 8 feet tall. Oh, Brandy's father transitioned this week. Okay, thoughts, warm thoughts. Hey, Marilena, sis, what's up, hun? Marilena. Yeah, so, we've got ways of dealing with things. We have some power. We're not powerless. We're not powerless. We still have this big earth under us. We still have some wild places left. We still have some ways to do things left. We're not powerless. We can get on good terms with the elements, start telling them what to do. Get on good terms with your angels, start giving them stuff to do. They'll love it. This is my best advice to you. Because even though the biggest baddies are gone, there's still a lot of work to do here. But like I said, demand good conditions, good working conditions. That's what I'm going to do. Swimming naked is wonderful. Oh, jumping off a cliff in the water. Yeah, that would be. Never done that yet. So really, we're not powerless. We got a lot going for us. We're humans. Wear it as a proud badge. Don't let people put us down. Oh, humans this and humans that. Humans can save this planet. We have to. It's our job. And we, though we be humans, we have this deep spiritual side. We have the power. I'm on 17% battery, so I'll be signing off. You guys, I love you. I'll be on tomorrow. Remember, I'll be coming on tomorrow. Oops. Try to put it on over my hat. I'll be coming on tomorrow, probably at 8:30, the usual time. And we'll have something new. Maybe I will have worked out what's going on with the computer by then, and I might be on the computer. And if so, we'll do some interesting things from the computer. Now, I love you. You're a family to me, my online family. And I want to remind you once again, like I always say, you are creators. You can create the future. It's time for us to create the future. Okay? If the big baddies are gone now, it's time for us to step in, get our angels revved up, get those elementals working for you, get this planet whipped into shape. And Mama will help. Mother Earth will be happy to help you, especially if she knows what you're doing. Tell her what you're doing. Tell her what you need. She'll help you figure out what to do. Okay. Truth is where you find it. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have some berry juice. My allergies, I'll get over them one day. Truth is where you find it. Hope you find some here. And always let people know you love them. These times are pretty uncertain. A lot of people are leaving. Let people know you love them while they're here. You can still let them know you love them while they're there, but it's nice to know you did it while they're here. Okay. Take care. See you tomorrow.